Zoom H4n has 3 different modes. There's 2-track stereo mode, 4-track mode and multi-track mode. Now as you can see from the front of the Zoom, you've already got each of the modes already displayed. So we have stereo, 4-channel and multi-track. And a little red light up here tells you what mode you're currently in. So I'm in stereo mode at the moment. Now stereo mode is probably going to be the most commonly used mode for ASMR artists. It's a good mode to use, but as you get more experience you may find that you want to start trying a few of the other different modes. So for starters, we'll just see how you actually access those modes and change them, and you do that via the menu option. So you want to click on the menu button on the side, and then as you scroll through the menu you use those. So here's our menu, and I want to find the mode option. So I'll scroll down through these. It's not play mode, you don't want play mode, so keep scrolling through, and there it is there, mode. So I'll press that scroll button in to access that menu, and then we have the 3 different modes. Now in stereo mode, what you're essentially doing is using either the inbuilt microphone that comes with the Zoom, so you're either using these here, or you're using microphones that you might have plugged in here. So whatever will fit into there. So you don't necessarily need microphones either. If you play the guitar, for instance, you might plug a microphone into this one and a guitar into that one. So that's the beauty of the Zoom. So when you record, you'll be recording simultaneously. And when you're in stereo mode, so if I just select stereo mode, to select a mode, I just push in on the scroll button here. It takes me back to the main screen, and up here you'll see it's highlighted in red, so we know we're in stereo mode. And also here it'll light up in red here. So what that is telling us when that's lit up in red is that we're using the internal microphones. If we were using these inputs here, you notice there's a 1 and a 2 here. So if we were using those and we plug those in, what we do is select that there you go. So that will tell the machine that we want to use these microphones here. Okay, so we'll get back to our menu mode. Okay, now the next mode is 4-channel mode. Now with 4-channel mode, you are using both the internal mics and any external microphones you might have. So you could have 4 microphones working at the same time with this method. Or again, you could have a guitar or a keyboard in there and a microphone in there, and using the internal speakers as well. So the beauty of this is if you say you were recording a choir, I know we probably won't do that for ASMR, but it's a good example. If you're recording a choir, you'd have this part pointing towards the front of the choir, and then you might plug in 2 microphones here, one with a very long cable that goes through and hangs over the choir on the right hand side, and the other one that hangs over the choir on the left hand side. So it just picks up all the sounds from all around the choir. So the next mode we have is the multi-track mode. And what the multi-track mode allows you to do is record 4 tracks at the one time, or four different tracks, not necessarily at the one time, but 4 different tracks. So what you do is we access the menu for that by pushing that in. And then you'll notice now you'll see 4 different tracks show up on the screen there. Now those 4 different tracks coincide with these buttons down here. You'll have noticed in a previous video on shortcut keys that these mean folder, file, speed and so forth. But when you get into this multi-track mode, these override those shortcut keys and they become the activators for these tracks. So if I press 1 there, you'll notice that track is now active. Same for number 2 and so forth. So I can record into 2 tracks at one time, record into 1 and so forth. Just depends what I might be doing. So the beauty of multi-track recording is that you can do independent tracks which you can later edit. So say for instance we're doing an ASMR audio here, and on the first track I'll arm it and I'll record a whispering video. For instance, I'll record some whispering sounds. Then once I've done that, on the next track I might record, say, some tapping sounds. And on the next track I might record some scraping sounds. And on the last track I might record some rain, the sound of rain. So then when I saved all that, once I get back into my editing software on my computer, I could edit each of those tracks independently. So if I find that, I don't really want the rain sound after all, it doesn't sound quite right, I can just completely delete that sound. Don't have to have it there at all, and it wouldn't affect the other 3 tracks. Or if I found that, say, the vocals, my whispering was just a little bit too low, I could up the volume on that track independently of the others. So that's the beauty of multi-track recording, but we'll go into a more detailed video on multi-track recording in a future video.